This is a Fox News alert. Chaos in Ferguson continues tonight as businesses that were looted and vandalized by rioters try to pick up the broken pieces. So, would the leader of the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., would he be proud to see scenes that are erupting instead of peaceful demonstrations like the ones that he advocated for? We'll hear what that answer tonight is. Martin Luther King Jr.'s niece, the author of King Rules, the director of the African American outreach Priests for Life, Dr. Alveda King. You know what? How are you? I've known you since my Atlanta days. It's an honor to have you, and you're a good friend. I guess you spent a lot of time with Dr. King, right?
I actually did. I was married the year after he was killed. My dad was killed and thrown in a swimming pool, walked me down the aisle. And as I'm trying to say this, I looked over at your football. I'm sorry, my kids still play with theirs.
Yeah, that's right. No,
they still do.
I'll give you another one.
Yeah, they love it. But anyway, it distracted me for a second. But actually, Martin Luther King Jr. and my dad, in the midst of turbulence, and I actually marched and went to jail, faced the tear gas and the nerve gas shot in my arm, all of that. But they would preach peace. They would say, you got to have peace, and then you can go after justice.
Well, if he were alive today and he went to Ferguson, do you think things would be different?
They would be very much different. If my uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., went to Ferguson today, he would be meeting with the spiritual leaders, he would be encouraging the people, he would be motivating the rioters and say, you're better than this, you don't have to live like this.
You know, when I listen to Dr. King's speech, I am mesmerized at the power that he commanded when he spoke. I mean, it was like a God's gift. It was an amazing thing to listen to him.
Right.
Did he prepare those speeches? Were they mostly from the heart, some prepared?
Many of my uncle's speeches, people don't know that, actually came from the Bible. They were things that he believed in his heart. And he believed in peaceful, nonviolent conflict resolution. Yeah. And even as Jesus Christ turned the other cheek, I saw my uncle turn the other cheek many, many times. Now, would he think it was okay for Michael to be dead? He would weep, because that's a dream that's been diverted. But he would want a society that was so much better that Michael never felt like he had to go in the store and steal anything in the first place.
What do you think about the rush? I don't know what happened yet. You have two very different stories that have emerged. What do you make of that? I
believe we must wait until the whole investigation is done. It's too early to make decisions on either side. But I believe that we should not rush to just decide that, you know, Michael was just slaughtered and shot down. We have to let the justice take its course. But it's still unfortunate. Michael should not be dead. Don't get me wrong. I'm very disturbed by that. I cry and weep with his parents. He should be alive today, but we still have to let the investigations happen.
You know, last weekend in Chicago, 7 killed, 29 injured. This is happening all across America. It's horrible.
This is true. And it's not always racism, although I do believe there is still racism alive in America.
Yeah.
But I think that it's much deeper. The problem is much deeper.
All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
I appreciate you being with us. Coming up next, Juan Williams and outspoken Missouri